What's up, squeegee slingers and water-fed pole wiggling wagglers, and welcome to another video on the Tradman Academy YouTube channel. Today is a very cold Tuesday morning. We're into minus double figures here in North Scotland. Take a look at that, folks. Although it looks beautiful, it's not particularly very nice to work in. So a lot of my equipment I've had in overnight to try and stop it freezing. Even being in the garage, it would freeze because it's that cold, so I've had to take it into the house. And this window here is like a utility room, so a lot of this gear, traditional stuff, some water-fed pole related things were kept in there to try and keep it from freezing up. It is so cold this morning, I'm going to have to go and start the van and try and get it defrosted before we can even think about getting to work. So let's go and try and start her up. Right. First things first, does it open? It's always a good start. Sometimes it's so cold that the batteries don't work and the van doesn't open. So let's see. It is completely solid at the moment. Oh, that's stiff. Oh. Okay, right. I think we have a frozen windscreen. It's all frozen on the inside as well as the outside. Okay, let's get this thing on. See if the thing will turn over. Come on, baby, don't let me down. Good old Peugeot. There we go. Right, fans are on, heaters are on. Oh, good. Right. Okay, so while that's defrosting, let's get all the bits and pieces in the back of the wagon. Right then, folks, at the moment we've got a hot barrel of clean water there. That's just regular tap water. It's not purified, it's just for traditional window cleaning, so you can just use tap water. But today, because it's so cold, especially to begin with, we're probably going to have to use car screen wash, and completely pure, undiluted. So that's what I had to do yesterday. I'll put an image up on screen now of the stuff that I'm using. Right then, let's get this stuff into the wagon. So you'll have to forgive the untidiness of my van at the moment. I'm about to trade it in the next few weeks or so. So all the pole holders, the tool holders, everything's been taken out and the van's been thoroughly cleaned inside as well, just ready for trading it in. Looking to get something a bit bigger to carry more stuff and add-on services we're going to do later on. So stay tuned for that. But at the moment, everything's just kind of chucked in at the moment. Until we get this thing traded in. Oh my goodness me, it's so cold. My hands are turning red and then it goes blue. I cannot feel my fingers, cannot feel my toes. Right, let's get Trad Girl's gear. Now, Trad Girl is really not looking forward to coming to work today. So I don't blame her. Poor girl. She said to me this morning, I don't do cold. Well, we live in Scotland and we're window cleaners at the moment, so we kind of have to keep going, you know. Look at that. Icy. Now you have to forgive all the yellow stains. If you're a dog owner, then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Dogs are not shy about where they go. I've got a perfectly good lawn and garden round the back he could go and use, but no, he decides to piddle on my path. I'd be surprised if this pure water hasn't frozen actually. Yeah, that is actually frozen. Oh wow, see that? It's all ice. Oh, this is going to be fun. Okay, so there's going to be no pure water or water-fed pole systems for the first part of this morning, I do not think. So as you can see, everything's quite tight getting it in the Peugeot Partner. It's a great little van, but because we carry quite a lot of stuff and we're looking to add on services next year as well, we're going to need a bit more space. Now, this trolley used to collapse, and it's a really good trolley actually, but over time, especially being out in all weather conditions, the little bit here that you squeeze together to get the trolley to collapse down, that rusted and sheared off. So the trolley still works perfectly fine, but it just means it can't collapse down anymore. But fortunately this van is tall enough that you can get the thing in. It's not too much of an issue, but so you've just got enough height there. Made to measure. Do you like my sticker? squeegeeing. This is the way. So as you can see, I've got the screen wash in the back there. I mean, to be honest, I got that not long ago and I've already used half that drum. So yeah, let's see how we get on today. I'm going to go and do the first job myself, and then Trad Girl's joining me a little bit later on. So let's get cracking. Right then folks, we've arrived at the first job, and the very first thing I like to do is put on my gloves. So these ones are the Argon Extra. They are fleece lined inside, and I also wear a pair of disposables as well, because I find that pretty much every glove I've ever tried never seems to be entirely waterproof, especially if you're squeezing out your applicator or doing anything like that. Even though they're supposed to be waterproof, I very often find that they're not. So rather than get really cold wet hands, I put on a thin pair of DIY disposable gloves and then put the glove on, and that just keeps my hands protected. Especially if I'm using car screen wash, then obviously I don't really want that going all over my hands or seeping through my gloves of any way, shape or form. So a pair of these just helps to keep my hands protected. Right, let's go and sort out the bucket of solution, shall we? Put these gloves on. Oh, it's chilly. Chilly, chilly, chilly. So I am going to put in maybe about, well, let's see if we can just try and submerge an applicator. That's all we're going to basically use. So it's pure car screen wash here I'm going to use, and I'm going to put some in Trad Girl's bucket as well. And we're just going to work away with that for now. See how we get on. As the day and the temperature obviously increases, then I will increase that to just more water than screen wash. But the forecast for today is to be pretty much minus temperatures all day, so I can imagine I'll be still using a little bit of screen wash even by the middle of the day. But at the moment, because it's minus double figures, it's pure car screen wash at the moment. Right, let's grab my trad gear. Okay, so pure car screen wash. Let's see how we get on. Okay, prime the squeegee. Let's see. So obviously the slip is not going to be as good on the glass as when I'm using regular soap, but at least I'm managing to get the work done. And also what I do is I wipe up after every window, because I don't want that freezing. Obviously the surface of here is going to be very cold, so before it turns to slush, give it a wipe up. Okay, that's working all right. Actually, considering that this is just screen wash, the glide is fairly good. But this is a premium one, so you can see I'm able to work, and I didn't even have to work two-handed there. I was able to soap up the window and then squeegee it down in a normal kind of way. I'm not having to rush. So if you're struggling to get windows done, use a good quality car screen wash that goes down to a fairly low temperature. Don't get the cheap stuff, because a lot of that will just freeze even just a little bit below minus. You can see there I'm able to get the job done. Looks good, nice and shiny. Hey, look who it is, stuck behind some swings cleaning windows. How are you, Trad Girl?
Save me.
Save you? Have you been abducted?
I'm being forced against my will.
You've been forced against your will to clean windows today. By who?
Yeah, by you.
Me?
Oh, swings everywhere.
Eh? It's lovely, just look at it, it's beautiful. Beautiful, it's only minus double figures and snowing. What are you complaining about?
I have no idea.
Get back to work. Mind you, tell everybody what you're getting treated to at lunchtime.
Fish and chips.
Fish and chips. So
Can't ask for more. Really,
yeah, but you got to earn it though, so get squeegee slinging.
I feel like I am then, isn't it? Working, isn't it?
Right then folks, so we're at this lovely job just not too far away from my home. It's snowing a little bit, still really cold. We've got a little bit of water-fed pole work to do. We've got some skylight Velux windows to clean, and also some low windows as well. These are all wooden frames on these ones, and also we've got this carport here as well to clean. So yeah, let's crack on with it, see how we get on. Still very cold. Right folks, so to do the high level stuff, we've got our little trolley system here, and as you can see I'm keeping the hose off the ground, because if you lay your hose on the ground for too long you'll find that it will freeze up. So if you can, try and keep your cables off the floor but until you're actually ready to use it. So we're using the Unger N-Lite at the moment. We've got the big boy backpack, and yeah, we're going to be cleaning some Velux windows. As you can see, some of them have snow on it, but as you'll see from the footage in a second, once I start scrubbing, that snow will start to disappear. So we've got some up here, we've got a few Skylight Veluxes up here and up there, and then some high level stuff as well. As a rule of thumb, I don't tend to put ladders up if it's been sort of snowing quite heavy or quite icy. I'll normally either traditionally clean using an extension pole, or indeed using a water-fed pole method if that's safe to do so. Depends on how cold it is, because even with hot water systems, if it's really cold, by the time that you've finished washing the window and go on to the next one, if it's minus double figures, that water will obviously turn to, well, ice and snow. So yeah, sometimes all you can really do is using things like IPA to try and stop the water freezing, or in this case for the traditional stuff, we're using good quality premium car screen wash in the bucket to stop it freezing. So it's just obviously the pure alcohol in there that's helping us to get the job done. So let's get on with these windows with the trolley system and see how we get on. Right, let's unwind a bit of hose now that we're ready to use it. Just wind off what I need. So probably about half of that will do fine. And what I'll do is I'll knock out this one and that one first, so just make sure my brush is at the right angle for those two panes of glass, and then for the Veluxes I'll angle the brush more into a what we'd maybe call a positive angle, a more forward angle, to make sure the bristles are in contact. I'll just wash all that framework down, and then the panes. I could actually traditionally clean these, well these two anyway, from here, but seeing as how I've got the water system out for doing the Veluxes anyway, then it just pays just to do these coupled with the water fed pole system. Now already, even with a short time of me going to get my camera, the water has started to freeze up in the brush. I don't know if you can see there on camera, but one jet is working and one is, well, it's just started working again now, but it's already started to freeze even within a few seconds of just putting my head camera on and just talking to you guys. It's already started to freeze up, so I need to keep the water flowing. So in other words, less yapping, trad man, more working. Now this is a maintenance clean, it's done monthly, so a lot of the dirt will be things like spider webs or dust, maybe some bird's mess, things like that. All the glass has been done traditionally on its first couple of cleans, just to get off all the ingrained dirt and also removing paint spots. And then for the high level we do it water fed pole, and low level still traditionally, just to get that really nice result, instantaneous results. So obviously with these ones they're quite tricky to do, and I don't really want to leave my ladder up against either the roof or the gutter or anything like that, so doing these ones traditionally is not really on the cards unless the customer would allow you to go inside and flip the window, but obviously with it being covered in snow and ice that's not really an option either, so we're left with doing it this way with the water system. Now obviously if it does freeze up once you've rinsed it and then the water does freeze up, obviously once it thaws out the windows will usually be okay, but you might have to explain that to your customer that, you know, that is the case, because it might be frozen when they come home from work and they think, oh, what's going on there? We've had that in the past. You just have to explain, well, once it thaws out, it might even be potentially the next day until the sun actually starts doing its job, then yeah, it might have that sort of frozen water effect for a little while until it thaws. But yeah, some of your clients might not be overly happy about that, so, but you'll know yourself depending on the clients you have. Okay, just keep that water flowing. Try not to fall over. There's a big pile of snow here, So try not to fall on my touche. God, that's solid ice up there. Huh, didn't know Tradman did snow removal, did you? Look at that. I feel like Mr. Plough.
Hiya, Homer! Say hello to the Plough King!
This is also letting light back into their house as well, because obviously with it being covered in snow, they're not getting any natural light upstairs. So a little added bonus is, well, they can see out the windows again. So yeah, as long as you keep the water flowing, then it should be okay. But then I've worked with hot water systems before where it was minus double figures and the system completely froze up. But then it was very extreme. It was, you know, close to like minus 20 or something, I think, on that occasion. To the point where I rested a water-fed pole on someone's sill while I went to go and connect up my hose, which only took literally 20 seconds or so. And within that time, the brush had fused completely to the customer's sill, 65 feet in the air. So I don't know if Colin, my old colleague I used to work with years ago, watches these videos or not, but Colin, I remember specifically laughing his head off. So as I tried to wiggle a 65-foot pole off of a customer's windowsill. Now, Trad Girl is sadly no longer here today because the school that our kids go to phoned us up on our lunch break and said, your kids are getting dropped off by the school bus in half an hour because of the snow and ice, so we're sending all the kids home early. Are you at home right now? And we were like, no. We are a little bit of a drive away working. So we had to kind of race back and go and let the kids into the house. So Carly's staying home now and I am glorying on. Now, I don't know if you can see on camera, but this is what I was trying to talk about earlier on. That window up there, the water's now obviously cooled down considerably and the window has frozen. So whether you've got a cold system or a hot system, if you're working in really cold conditions, especially if it's not exposed to the sun, that's what's going to happen. Your windows are probably going to freeze up once you finish rinsing. So these ones will probably do the same in a moment. That one up there has frozen completely. But obviously when the sun comes out, probably be tomorrow now because it's about sort of maybe between 1 and 2 in the afternoon now. So it'll probably be tomorrow. It's supposed to warm up a little bit tomorrow. Okay, right, so that is the water-fed pole stuff done, which is good. So I can do the trad stuff, which I have no doubt I'll be able to do. So let's switch this off. Now, I really like these backpacks, but the only problem with it is that unfortunately with the design, they've not really waterproofed these switches. So after about a year and a half of use, eventually the connections start to go a little bit. It's very easy to swap them out. You just take this yellow bit off, then you've got access in there, and then change the switches out. I just changed the rocker switch here recently because that was playing up and it wouldn't switch on. I think I'm gonna have to change this dial here because that's starting to play up as well on this. It's supposed to be able to change the flow, but that's not working. So I'll have to change that. But it's fairly simple. You just pull out the old one, connect the new one, put it in, screw this back on top and away you go. So it's fairly simple. I mean, I'm definitely no electrician, but it's honestly, it's pretty idiot proof. So if I can do it, anyone can. Right, let's get this wrapped up and off the floor. And then when I get back home, a lot of this stuff I'll put inside. Save it freezing because this entire week is going to be really cold, so I want to be able to make sure I can work the following day. And I've tried heaters in the van. I've tried a fan heater and I've tried an oil heater, which is fine if it's down to -5 or 6 or something like that, but as soon as it gets near minus double figures, which that's what it's been recently, then the little heaters just are not enough and things were still freezing. So just have to take everything inside, much to my wife's delight. Alright, there we go. So that little 22 litre container there just did all of the tops of this quite large property, so even on full power the water goes quite a long way. Right, let's chuck this back in here. Right, so just grab our trad bucket. It's got our pure screen wash in there. Let's get cracking. So let's start around this corner. Now a lot of these frames should be fairly clean because the spiders tend to not really cover a lot of this in their spider webs at this time of year. A lot of them are hiding inside of the frame, which is good for me because the frames are generally reasonably clean and they just need a little wipe like this with a damp cloth. Like that. So there's nothing ingrained on there, which is good. We'll get our pure screen wash and I just squeeze a little bit of the excess out just so I'm using just what I need and I'm not completely flooding the place with that detergent. Right, so what I like to do as well is, if I can, is squeegee and applicate at the same time, because although in theory this stuff shouldn't freeze up, sometimes it does. So especially if there's no heat on the inside. So I'll just do the top bit and then the squeegee follows your applicator like that. So just your left hand mimics your right hand all the way down. So same when you're working in hot conditions, you can use the same technique to get the window done before it dries out. But it also comes in handy when it's really cold. You can get those windows squeegeed before everything freezes up. Now at the moment our schedule is absolutely packed, so you know we've only got maybe 1 or 2 days spare, all going well, and that's with Carly helping me for like 4 days in every week, so we need to kind of just keep going, you know. So next year we're going to be looking at dropping a little bit of the window cleaning and doing some gutter cleaning with gutter vacs and things, because up till now I've not really bothered. I've been so busy with just doing windows, but we're getting asked more and more and more by clients if we can do it, and at the moment we're just not really taking that on. So just up until now it's not really interested me. I really like doing window cleaning, and you know, but when I used to do gutter cleaning years ago, it was the old school way, so it was up ladders with buckets and scoops and things, and not like now where it's all fancy machines. You know, it'll be a lot easier now to do, so yeah, it makes sense to give it a whirl, give it a try. So we're going to try that next year, just after the winter's finished, and go and get a machine, and that'll fit nicely in our bigger van as well. That's one of the reasons we're getting a bigger vehicle, so we can fit these kinds of things in. Because as much as I love my little baby, she's just a wee bit small. Okay, so just checking over the frames, you can see a little bit of spider web here, not much. So just give that a wipe. Spiders do tend to like wooden frames quite a lot. So you can see, even on a day like today, where it's minus conditions, we're still able to work, still able to get the job done. But that's why I would encourage you to practice during the spring and the summer and the autumn with your trad pole techniques, so that when the winter comes, you've got an alternative way of getting the windows done. If all you know how to do is water-fed pole, and you get weather where you just, you know, the water-fed pole is just not feasible, and you've got loads of work to do, then if you've got the skill set to go and do things traditionally, even with an extension pole, just enough to get those windows done, then it means you're not going to be sitting at home twiddling your thumbs when you could be out getting your work done. So, good to have those skills in your quiver, as it were. because obviously I've been doing trad pull, you know, low level, high level, and everything in between for years. So for me, it doesn't faze me to have to trad pull high level and still get all my work done. There's not been a year yet where I've not been able to get round all of our customers, where I've had to take several days off or a week off. I've been able just to keep going. The occasional day off with really intense weather, you know, the kind of weather where they're sort of giving warnings on TV for dangerous conditions. But apart from that, I'm pretty much out every single day during the week. So you can too, if you so choose. But if you're not that busy and you don't, you know, have that many customers, or you don't need to be out, or for whatever reason, then yeah, chill out at home if you can. I remember getting a comment from somebody a few years ago that said that he dreaded the winter coming because he wasn't particularly very good at using these tools on a pole, or using any kind of traditional tools on a pole. But obviously after watching some of the tutorials that have popped up on YouTube over the years, he's now able to carry on working through the winter and provide for his family. So that's fantastic. That was awesome. I think that's one of the best messages I've ever had, and I still remember to this day that, you know, the power of putting things up online, you can really kind of help to make a bit of a difference in people's lives, and it's really cool. It's a nice feeling. Well, probably one of the best feelings you can get by doing this kind of thing, putting videos online, is getting that feedback that you're able to help people. It's fantastic. Love it. I'm actually quite surprised how good this cleaning solution is, considering it is, you know, car screen wash. I was expecting a lot more friction on the glass, because it's obviously very runny consistency, but I mean, it's not, I still wouldn't use it all the time. It's still not better than what I normally do with adding dish soap directly to the washer. But yeah, it's pretty good considering. It's definitely workable. Right then folks, so that's us finished for the day. We're losing daylight now, it's getting pretty dark. So what we have to do now is go and put all this stuff back in the house so that it doesn't freeze up overnight. This whole week is going to be really cold, so all the essentials, the buckets, the tools, the water-fed pole gear is going to go inside to keep it nice and cozy, ready for work tomorrow. So hopefully you've enjoyed the video and got something from today's vid. Hopefully you'll like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. And remember, keep on squeegee slinging.